Looks like both of these trainers are getting locked in. They're getting ready. Make some noise. Get back to your screens here. Click in for the grand finals. As we start off here, we have a great lead for Doonebug. We have that Wigglytuff up against that Shadow Dusknoir on the side of Reis2Occasion. We see an immediate pivot out into a Gastrodon.
Great lead, as you called out. Wigglytuff's normal typing is so helpful, and the 3-turn fast attacks are chunking away at both of these Pokemon. Because there wasn't an instantaneous swap, it just proves that Doonebug is not ready for the Gastrodon. He's got to find a more neutral way to address it.
But Will, remember when I said you can't bring in both the Credilli and the Wigglytuff? The fact that the Wigglytuff is in the lead led Reis2Occasion to say, I can swap in my Gastrodon without having to worry about that Credilli coming into hard counter. And now this Wigglytuff, such a hard counter for that Dusknoir, is basically gone.
Wow, taking control, switch advantage, and KOing the Gastrodon. Doonebug is in firm control of this game number 1. Throws the Icy Wind here into the Empoleon. I think no matter what, he's going to be happy to throw a charge attack.
This is going to lower the attack of the Empoleon here, but it's not very effective. It doesn't do much damage. But you know what might is this Primeape as it comes in and just starts ramping up. Dusknoir comes back in here, but there's already some energy on that Primeape. Has to shield up this first Rage Fist.
Astonish hits so hard that the Karate Chop timing there is absolutely critical. Now we see a pivot into the Galarian Corsola versus the Dusknoir. It does have a Protect Shield advantage, so maybe it doesn't need to fear the Shadow Punch as much, but the Astonishes, my goodness, are they adding up.
There's almost astonishing amount of damage here. Doonebug doesn't use a shield on that Galarian Corsola, recognizes how strong that Shadow Primeape is going to be against Empoleon, and they hang on. Actually, you see Reis not happy about that scenario because now this Primeape with 2 shields comes into an Empoleon.
Absolutely hanging on by a thread there, and Reis2Occasion is now on the back fence. He's got to figure out how he's going to get past this Primeape, and he doesn't think there's a way. He's going to let that Rage Fist connect and the Karate Chops do the rest. But what a couple of pivotal lives, right? We talked about the Wigglytuff surviving on just 1 HP after KOing the Gastrodon, and then again, a 1 HP survive on that Galarian Corsola.
Game number 2 starting off here. We have that Unova Stunfisk on the side of Doonebug up once again against that Shadow Dusknoir. A more neutral lead than definitely that Wigglytuff that was there. And if we take a peek at that backlines, we do see that Wigglytuff in the back lurking there, but so is the Empoleon.
Gonna see the Mud Bomb get thrown by the Unova Stunfisk, trying to chip down the Shadow Dusknoir. No Protect Shields yet from Reis2Occasion. It only does about, I don't know, 28-30% or so, so he's able to take that no problem. Shadow Punch coming back.
Now gonna throw that Shadow Punch here. No Protect Shield used by Doonebug's side. Puts that Unova Stunfisk pretty low, but Unova Stunfisk already at another Mud Bomb. It's up to Reis if he wants to use a shield. Exactly what he's going to do. He's already at enough energy here. We might see some sort of cheeky swap, or we might just see if he's gonna let that Unova Stunfisk go down.
One single Astonish, convert that into a Shadow Punch to pick up the KO, and at the cost of 1 Protect Shield, Reis2Occasion is going to secure Switch, which I do think is very important when you consider he does have that Empoleon in the back.
Oh, you come in though, and what you give, you take away. He didn't want to let those charms charm him down, but at the same breath, now he has locked his Empoleon into that Shadow Primeape. Shadow Primeape does have to put up a shield because that Drill Peck is super effective, but now Doonebug is just going to start ramping up once again.
Yeah, something tells me maybe Reis was looking out for the Unova Stunfisk here, but instead it's the Primeape. Primeape does connect the Rage Fist. The Karate Chops are doing a lot of damage, and it will be able to pick up the knockout before the next Hydro Cannon is ready.
Dusknoir comes back in, but a Rage Fist already loaded, using the Protect Shield here because this is boosted definitely enough to knock out that Dusknoir at this stage. And now being able to get a Shadow Punch off. Do we see a double shield off of Doonebug? Yes, he wants to be able to get that Primeape, wants to see what's in the back.
Yeah, it's already boosted up 1 stage from the Rage Fist, so the final Pokemon for Reis comes out. It is the Florges, but it's going to take a boosted Rage Fist for its trouble, and that's going to set up the Fairy type from Doonebug quite well here in the final part of the game.
Look how much that does. Boosted Rage Fist comes in. Wigglytuff comes back in just to soak up all of this damage. Reis2Occasion going for the Trailblaze means it's going to boost his attack a little bit, but Doonebug already nodding. Look how close he is to the Swift.
I wonder, we're going to see here, the Trailblaze doesn't do nearly enough. I don't even think a boosted Trailblaze would have weakened this Wigglytuff down to being knocked out. So instead we see the Swift get fired off. Wigglytuff and Doonebug, looks like they're going to take game number 2 as well, and there it is.
You know, like honestly, sometimes Like the saying goes, you got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to stay in if you have that alignment you're looking for and not swap out.
Game number 3 is slated and ready to go here. Our trainers have locked in. This might be the start of a bracket reset or the start of a comeback. Let's get right into it, everybody. Unova Stunfisk versus Galarian Corsola.
Things are getting a little bit spooky on that side of the Doonebug here as he just lets that Corsola tank all of this energy the Unova Stunfisk is building up here. It's going to take a little bit longer for that Galarian Corsola to pace, but even still throwing the Nightshade first.
Yeah, definitely a very bulky matchup to start us off here. No clear winner. We're going to get a lot of charge attacks thrown, and in terms of resistances, I don't see a lot of chances for a swap, but in comes Reis with that Gastrodon, trying to get an early energy lead.
Going ahead now, Corsola staying in this matchup, going ahead and throwing yet another charge attack. Perhaps a bit of a chip and dip. Maybe Doonebug is actually even going to stay in. No, he comes in with that Wigglytuff. But this is great for Reis2Occasion. He's already at a Water Pulse, and this Dusknoir can avoid this matchup.
Yeah, perfectly said. Water Pulse connects, Wigglytuff gets weakened down at to half health, and this Gastrodon might even get to another charge attack here if Doonebug is not careful. Actually on the charge attack priority, beautifully thrown here, the Swift.
Great recognition by Doonebug, knowing he's going to win that charge attack priority, throwing that Swift, getting that Gastrodon out without using any shields. In comes that Unova Stunfisk again, and now being able to throw a Mud Bomb. This puts it in a much better position, however. There's so much energy on that Unova Stunfisk, and the Wigglytuff is so low that this Mud Bomb is able to knock out.
Yeah, two Thundershocks in the Mud Bomb makes you avoid that second charm damage, so Reis keeps his Unova Stunfisk healthier going into this next matchup. Still all 4 Protect Shields in play. Galarian Corsola returns to the field.
Going ahead now and seeing that this Mud Bomb is going through, still no Protect Shield on Doonebug's side. I think Doonebug is probably thinking it's the Empoleon in the back because Reis has brought it so many times. A simultaneous swap. It is that Dusknoir here just starting to astonish away, but Talonflame is already able to reach a Flame Charge. He's going to have to use a Protect Shield if he wants to use it.
2 Protect Shields in play. The first one of the battle does get burned here by Doonebug, and the question is, if he continues to Incinerate, can he pick up the knockout before the Dusknoir does? I don't know. Those Astonishes are dealing so much damage in kind.
Starting to sizzle here. Reis2Occasion uses his shield to block up this Flame Charge, but now this is boosted. Incinerate's coming through. Fly is loaded, but it goes down. Talonflame goes down.
3 Astonishes get the job done. In comes the Galarian Corsola, and it's going to peel the second shield away from Doonebug97 here with the Shadow Punch.
Shadow Punch going to be deflected here with this shield, and down goes the Dusknoir, and now it's again a battle. Where it started is where it's going, but Reis2Occasion still has 1 shield to his name. Mud Bomb coming through Galarian Corsola. This will not be enough to knock out, but it's getting to endgame time.
Unova Stunfisk just 3 Thunder Shocks away. Galarian Corsola doesn't have much HP, and this is Reis striking back after losing the first 2 games of our grand finals. We've got a series on our hands.
Reis2Occasion says, I am not getting swept here. I'm taking this game. This is turning back into a competitive series.
Let's get right into it, everybody. We've got game number 4. Empoleon finally finds its target.
Looks like this is exactly the matchup Reis2Occasion is looking for, and Primeape comes in immediately. It's actually one of those Pokemon that, when it has 2 shields to hide behind, is an interesting, safe swap, especially if there's not going to be a Fairy-type Pokemon on the other side. This Rage Fist will connect. This will boost the attacks from the Primeapes for the rest of the game, or until it clears out.
Primeape taking its time to get to the Rage Fist here against that Gastrodon. Not sure if it's going to connect after all. Like you said, Amanda, this is something where you want to build up your attack, you want to boost that damage output, but I don't know if we're going to get there at this point.
This Annihilape has so much rage, it does not know what to do with it, sir. Just kind of sitting there, shaking its fist, saying, oh, I wanted to throw that attack.
Exactly. Well, we might be looking at a battle reset here as our judges work out what's happening on the stage, but that being said, I mean, Empoleon lead into Wigglytuff for Reis, that was tremendous. He's probably feeling very confident after that call. And I think he knows his Gastrodon versus Shadow Primeape matchup too, so maybe he felt like he had a pretty good shot to win that. And then you get to a position like this, where you kind of feel like you're gaining momentum and then you're stopped. And you have to kind of rebuild that momentum and not let the anxiety get the better of you.
And thank you everyone for sticking with us through this. We just want to make sure that everything is going to be right for these trainers, because again, with a game that comes down to split-second decisions, when turns are half-second, we want to make sure everything is going according to plan.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Reis2Occasion's already locked in. doing some final checks here before our trainer on the right does so as well. It looks like we're going to get into this game at any moment, everybody. I know this is what you've been waiting for. We're into it. We've got lock-ins on both sides, and I think we're going in right now.
Make some noise for your favorite trainer as we are kicking off into this game number 4 in the grand finals. We have an Empoleon lead up against a Galarian Corsola at this time. It looks like Reis2Occasion going ahead, staying in this matchup, just gaining a little bit of energy here. If we take a peek at that backline there, we have that Shadow Primeape and Shadow Talonflame on the side of Doonebug, and he is just content to stay in this, soak up that damage from the Empoleon here.
None of the traditional targets here in Doonebug's composition. You don't see a Cradily, you don't see a Wigglytuff here, but the Empoleon is a neutral monster as well. It can deal so much damage over time, and the Hydro Cannon getting fired off here into the Galarian Corsola is going to take it deep into the red.
Now, a quick pivot out, going to catch this, but has to put up a shield if you're Reis2Occasion, because this would still do a lot of damage to this Shadow Dusknoir that has just come in, and now we see that Shadow Primeape. It's not often that you're seeing a Shadow Primeape coming in to a Shadow Dusknoir, but I mean, look at this, already able to throw a Rage Fist, already able to boost up the attack, and Reis2Occasion does not shield the first one. Look how much damage that does.
Double resisted Karate Chops, but super effective Rage Fist, and we see a Shadow Punch get fired off in kind. Shield coming up here from Doonebug97 as he wants to protect his glassy, high-octane Shadow Primeape.
Reis2Occasion did not shield the first one because he knew the second one would be even more impactful, but you know what? Not even shielding up the second one because Primeape has come into play, and now the Empoleon gets completely avoided as this Gastrodon comes to Mudslap down. A quick pivot by Doonebug here into that Shadow Talonflame. Reis2Occasion staying in this here and going for the Water Pulse. This is the heavy-hitting attack. Doonebug might think it's a bait, but doesn't want to risk it. He puts up his last Protect Shield.
Can Shadow Talonflame ride the waves here, though? Because the Empoleon comes right in. There are no Protect Shields in play, and Doonebug goes for the Flame Charge here.
Keep your eye on it because this Flame Charge is going to boost the Incinerate damage, and Empoleon is also part Steel, even though it's part Water. But since he's already at the Hydro Cannon on that side of Reis2Occasion, this should be enough to wash away the Talonflame. The real question is going to be, how long can this Primeape hang on?
Can't hang on. It gets KO'd through the Metal Sounds, and Reis continues his comeback here, evening up the series 2-2. We are headed into a decisive game number 5 in our grand finals.
You see it at that bottom there. It's still anyone's game.
Doonebug fans, rev your engines. Reis2Occasion fans, get out of your seats. This is game number 5. This could be it. Gastrodon takes on Unova Stunfisk.
And this is more of a neutral, but maybe more in favor of the Gastrodon because those fast attacks don't do anything at all. And actually, Doonebug immediately pivots into his Galarian Corsola here, and Reis2Occasion stays in, goes for the Water Pulse. No Protect Shield on Doonebug's side.
Looking for a little bit of chip and dip here. Water Pulse will connect into the Galarian Corsola. That Shadow Dusknoir is what Reis decides to pull here, as the Astonish damage will add up rather quickly.
Going for a Nightshade now and letting another Astonish go through. Reis2Occasion puts up a Protect Shield, wants to be able to get as much damage off as possible. Looking at his backline, he does have that Empoleon that hasn't been revealed yet. Another Nightshade going through, and Reis2Occasion doesn't want to use the shield. He goes for his own charge attack, forcing Doonebug to make a decision.
Yeah, beautiful timing there. He knows the Shadow Dusknoir win that charge attack priority tie, and he triggers it intentionally. In comes Unova Stunfisk, looking for another Shadow Punch here, but the Mud Bomb might actually be enough to KO. Let's see.
This Dusknoir is getting low. Keep in mind it's also Shadow, so it's taking that 20% more damage. Mud Bomb connects. Dusknoir hangs on by a thread and actually goes for a dynamic punch.
Reis2Occasion hangs on by a thread like a puppet master pulling the strings. Dynamic Punch connects. Unova Stunfisk loses a ton of HP. In comes the Talonflame behind 2 shields. This is Doonebug's best chance.
Going ahead, just getting a little more energy. Reis2Occasion goes for the Body Slam. You talked earlier about how Doonebug knows his counts, but since this is a Shadow Talonflame, he's got to try to keep it healthy. He figures there's probably an Empoleon in the back, but with the shields to hide behind, with ramping up energy, this might be just what he needs.
3 Metal Sounds there. That means the Empoleon is 2 away from the Hydro Cannon as the Flame Charge gets fired here. After a boost, the Talonflame might put this Empoleon within range. Let's see.
No Protect Shields left on Rise's side as he ends up shielding that up. Doonebug has used his last Protect Shield as well on this Talonflame. Looking at the energy at the bottom, he does have enough for another Flame Charge, but he goes for the fly. He goes for one more Incinerate first. This is already boosted. Should it be enough to knock out the Empoleon?
Highly calculated here. Fly connects. It is enough to kill the Empoleon, and I think that the Talonflame will outpace the Gastron to another fly.
You see,
Doonebug, Talonflame ascends to the Grand Finals reset.
You see Reis2Occasion wondering, what could I have done? Doonebug says absolutely nothing. We're taking this to the reset here as Doonebug takes the decisive game number 5.
Doonebug out to an early lead, winning 2 straight. Reis2Occasion trying to come back, but runs out of gas in the middle of the Nevada desert and can't cross the finish line. We're headed to a Grand Finals reset. It's not over yet. Tell your friends to get in here. We got a Grand Finals reset in Las Vegas. Not many trainers get a second chance in Vegas, but Doonebug has one. Let's see what they decide to do. Game 1, Grand Finals reset, Gastrodon into Galarian Corsola.
Heavy, slow-moving Pokemon, but lots of damage going to be coming through and giving both opponents a little bit of time to assess and think about what is in the back for both of these trainers. Obviously, Reis2Occasion is going to go for that heavier hitting Water Pulse, going right at the same time that Nightshade is available by Doonebug's side.
I feel like Doonebug is leading this Galarian Corsola in every single game. He has no fear at all that Galarian Moltres from Reis2Occasion is going to show up, and it just lends itself to a Galarian Corsola lead all the time. Going to see the Nightshade get thrown here into that Gastron and a pivot into the Talonflame.
Talonflame just coming in to try to get a little bit of energy since it does pace a little bit slowly. Those Incinerates take so long, already at it, and now Doonebug is going for the Flame Charge. This means since there's 2 shields to hide behind, he's going to boost up its attack for the rest of the time the Talonflame is in this game.
At the cost of that shield, Rise is going to get the body slam here. I think he's confident he can withstand that Incinerate damage and get to one more charge attack, but it's going to be really close. Actually pivots out into that Shadow Dusknoir here.
That Shadow Dusknoir is going to have to take yet another Flame Charge. Double boosting here. No Protect Shields remaining on the side of Reis2Occasion. This Talonflame is screeching energy into that Dusknoir. Dusknoir able to reach that Shadow Punch, and it looks like Doonebug's trying to swap out into that Galarian Corsola. That's exactly what he's going to do. 2 Shadow Punches loaded on the side of Reis2Occasion.
So even if Doonebug shields his first one, he's going to get hit with another. Does he decide to do it? No, he recognizes the energy, does not want to give up that invaluable Protect Shield at this stage in the game. He's got that Unova Stunfisk. I assume it'll come in as soon as that switch timer is expired.
Man, I'm looking at these backlines here. I'm looking at the fact that Doonebug has a shield. In comes that Unova Stunfisk, and Rise has to be thinking, eek, because the Empoleon is there lurking in the back, trying to get off as much damage as possible. Dynamic Punch coming through, now coming in with the Gastrodon to just start chipping.
This is a test of late game counting, and Doonebug is going to go ahead and shield up the body slam there. Wants to maintain some HP on his Unova Stunfisk. Does not want to take any more damage, but he's going to have to. The Mudslaps are super effective, but he's building to double. He might have what it takes to KO the Empoleon and win this game 1.
What a risk, but high reward there. You know, normally see an electric type farming down a ground type Pokemon, but what comes out is just a ton of energy. In comes the Empoleon. Mud Bomb number 1 coming through. No Protect Shield on Rise's side.
Switch timer is 45 seconds. Every charge attack minigame is 10 seconds. He needs to time this perfectly. He needs to throw right now, and Doonebug knows exactly what he has to do. Double Mud Bombs are going to bury this Empoleon and pick up the KO.
Mud Bomb puts that Empoleon back into the ground with the rest of that mud, and it's able to take out that Dusknoir. Doonebug takes the first game of the Grand Finals reset.
Doonebug winning 2 games early on, losing 2, winning the decisive game. We're heading into game number 2 of our Grand Finals reset. Doonebug 2 battles away from becoming your champion. Rise has to win 3 straight, and this is a tough lead for Rise to start.
Doonebug is so adaptable, bringing in that Wigglytuff. Reis2Occasion quickly pivots out. We talked about this a little bit earlier on. Because there is a Wigglytuff in the lead, there's most likely not a Cordelia in the back, which leads Reis2Occasion to slave swapping his Gastrodon.
I think we saw this earlier as well, but last time Doonebug opted for the Primate. We're going to see what happens, though, because the Gastron does get to the Water Pulse. This will likely connect and deal a ton of damage to Wigglytuff.
Wigglytuff will be able to take all of this. It does knock it down very low into the red, but the Swift is already available. And actually, same thing happened the first time. Wigglytuff gets to be able to have all of its charge attacks, survives on just a sliver of HP, and gets to dictate what will come in.
Icy Wind is going to be the charge attack of choice no matter what Reis chooses to bring in, and it is the Empoleon. This feels eerily similar to a game that we saw earlier in the Grand Finals first bracket. Icy Wind is going to slow down the Empoleon, and it looks like Doonebug brings in the Primate.
Man, I tell you what though, this Empoleon is in between a rock and a hard place here. Do you want to have electric damage and ground damage, or do you want to have fighting type damage against you? This Dusknoir coming into that Unova Stunfisk. 2 Protect Shields left on Reis2Occasion's side. He doesn't shield up that first Mud Bomb. Knows it's not going to be enough to knock out, just continuing to get a lot of energy, now throwing a charge attack of his own.
Shadow Punch will connect into the Unova Stunfisk. No shield used here by Doonebug97. He knows his bulky ground and electric type Pokemon can tank it. This next Mud Bomb, I think Reis probably could have withstand it, but he's going to throw up the Protect Shield anyway.
Wants to make sure, because Dusknoir might be his big hope here, because those Astonishes are going to be what's putting in the work to that Primate in the back. He's got to start stripping away shields here, because Doonebug might be in the same position he was in when he won a game earlier with a 2-shielded Primate up against an Empoleon.
The challenge here is that Primate cannot fast attack down the Dusknoir. It's got to throw some energy, and those Astonishes are adding up so quickly. Reis2Occasion is locked in his strategy. He's going for a fast attack, damage, win condition. He wants to land as many Astonishes as possible and let Empoleon do the rest. But will it be enough? 2 more Astonishes come through. The knockout will connect, though.
You see Reis2Occasion a little bit frustrated at this point, because just generating energy with every chop here. This Primate is primed and ready to go. 2 shields to hide behind. Doesn't even matter. 1 more Rage Fist to go to secure game number 2.
The 3rd Rage Fist in a row, and Primate and Doonebug97 continue to ratchet up the pressure. Reis2Occasion bends. He doesn't break often, but this looks really, really tough for him.
He's got to be able to get what we call a reverse sweep.
Game 3 of the Grand Finals reset is on, everybody. Let's see. We get Shadow Primate into the Unova Stunfisk.
Unova Stunfisk against Primate Pier, and it looks like both of these trainers probably going to stay in for a little bit. I always like to look at that backline just to see how it's going to play out, how important this first matchup is. Sometimes you see trainers protecting, using their shields later on in the game. Sometimes they're used right away because they recognize how important this first matchup is. Reis2Occasion is going for that Mud Bomb. No Protect Shield was used on that Rage Fist, and no Protect Shield on the Primate either. This will connect.
Doonebug didn't even build to the Ice Punch on that first go-around, but he is going to build to it here. He knows a boosted Ice Punch would threaten the KO. Does Reis take the bait, or does he call it? He's thinking about it. He does use the shield here.
Going ahead and shielding this up. Now 1 shield for Reis2Occasion. He has a ton of energy on this Unova Stunfisk. Goes for another attack, and actually Doonebug shields up this super low health Primate. Maybe he's thinking, this is so important. I want to get that switch at the beginning, because he's wondering what is in the back. He wants to line up his Corsola if there's an Empoleon, he thinks, or if there's a Dusknoir, he wants that Wigglytuff right on it.
Yeah, when you were this ramped up, it's tomato, tomato. Primate can get the KO either way, so he does pull the shield away from Reis. Down 0-1 shields. Galarian Corsola comes in, gonna get an energy lead, but Gastrodon comes out to meet it.
Now keep in mind that Unova Stunfisk is super low health, but it has a lot of energy on it. More than 1 charge attack. It has a charge attack and a little bit of extra energy before swapping to this Gastrodon. Gastrodon throwing this Water Pulse against the Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff doesn't shield. We've seen this similar scenario before. Wigglytuff does seem to survive with just a little bit of HP to be able to throw that Swift, and it looks like he's going for the Icy Wind instead.
This might not actually KO the Gastrodon due to that water typing, but it's going to bring it so low, and I think Reis has one eye on his switch timer. He wants to get out of this matchup, but he still has too much time to wait, so he's forced to throw the Body Slam.
There's 1 shield left on Doonebug's side. We see a complete undercharge of the side of Reis, just barely tapping the bubbles. Not quite enough to knock out the Wigglytuff, and now coming in with the Shadow Dusknoir. There's a lot of charm damage here, but he gets so much energy.
This might be Doonebug's game to lose, because he's got the charge attack. Shadow Dusknoir has no Protect Shields left. I think he's closing in on a Grand Finals victory.
Going ahead, this Nightshade is super effective. Heavy damage, Shadow Punch in return, but Doonebug has that shield to hide behind. He puts it up here. He keeps that Galarian Corsola in the green.
Galarian Corsola is healthy. There's a little bit of HP left to go around. Reis2Occasion running out of options. He might fold here. What does he decide to bring in? He's going to go ahead and select the Unova Stunfisk. It's got 2 Mud Bombs, but is it enough?
going ahead and throwing Mud Bomb number 1. He is one fast attack away from it, but their health is dwindling on it. The Switch Timer is up. He has a potential catch, but if Doonebug knows what he's doing, he knows he just needs to keep farming down. We saw how little that first Mud Bomb did.
Looks like Reis fires his final charge attack, goes in the Gastron. Does he have the Water Pulse? No, he doesn't have it. The Astonish connects. Doonebug97 is poised for victory here.
Doonebug pumps his fist. He astonishes down. He takes the victory. Give it up for your Las Vegas Regional Champion.
Doonebug came down to Vegas and he set the stage on fire this weekend. Incredible victory after a grand finals reset over his friend and foe, Reis2Occasion.